That's us. That is us. It's go time. All right. Man, I tell you what, I love this time of year. I don't know that I love it being dark by the time I get home, and I don't really like leaving the house when the sun isn't up yet. Especially now that I don't have to drive into the sun both ways on my way to work and on my way home. It's not as bad now when the sun's up, but I love this time of year. Absolutely love it. And today the weather's pretty good. We're looking at 60 degrees right now according to the Kangeroo. I don't know if it's really that or not, but it's a pretty nice day. Got some winter weather moving in this weekend. Now I don't know if the Kangeroo cam is going to pick these clouds up here the way they look, but it is a beautiful evening. Absolutely beautiful. Makes the drive home kind of nice, which is why I'm going this way. I don't have to go this way to go home, but I kind of wanted to take a look at these clouds, see the scenery. But I don't know. This has got me thinking about. It's really easy to be cynical and to be skeptical and to be bitter. Bitter, I think, is the word I would use. It's really easy to be bitter sometimes because there's stuff that we want in our lives that we don't have. And one of the reasons I like this time of year so much is because I try not to be bitter. There's a lot that I complain about sometimes, and I'm trying to get better at not complaining. But I'm usually not very bitter. But I have found myself in the last few years thinking about, how hard I've worked for different things and how a lot of things don't happen for me the way it seems like they should. I see from time to time, I see other people that don't look like they've worked as hard as me, and they're getting a lot, and I'm not. So that gets kind of frustrating, but I should have gone on through this light, I think, but we'll see. But anyway, it's really easy to get bitter, and I try not to. So I found myself thinking about it a little bit more here lately, and I'm trying to be less bitter. The bitterness doesn't get us anywhere. We can't really help what happens for other people, and in fact, we should be happy for other people. We shouldn't be upset because it worked out for other people just because it didn't work out for us. It's really easy to get jealous, and that jealousy kind of leads to the bitterness, I think. Not necessarily, because sometimes it's not about jealousy. Sometimes it's about what you want that you don't have. So anyway, historically throughout my life, I've tried to look at what I do have instead of what I don't have. And that's not to say that you can't focus on things that you want that you don't have yet. It's just to say that, you can certainly think about them, and you should think about them, because goal setting and trying to achieve goals, having things that you want, that's a good thing. But you don't want to focus on it so much, and from a negative standpoint, that you that you're getting angry about life. So what I've tried to do is focus on what I do have, and not worry so much about what I don't. Because I can't do anything about it right now. All I can do is keep making good decisions and trying to work towards the goals that I've set. And B, I've seen bitterness tear people down. I've seen it tear people down and end relationships that didn't need to be ended, that really had nothing to do with the bitterness. And it's unfortunate. I dare say that I've lost at least one really good friend over bitterness, and not mine. It wasn't my bitterness that did it. I was just in a position where that bitterness kind of, for whatever reason, pitted me on the wrong side of a person, and so I don't know. I won't dwell on that too much. I'm just trying to be really careful with how I word that. because I can't necessarily blame the person for being upset, but it certainly didn't have the effect that any of us would have chosen. And a lot of it comes, in my personal opinion, comes from bitterness. So one of the reasons I like this time of year, we'll circle back to that and end it. One of the reasons I like this time of year is because it helps me remember all the things that I do have. So springtime comes around, I start wanting to get outside, and I start thinking of all the tools I don't have, and all the things that I've wanted that I don't have, and sometimes I've got to watch it. But here this time of year, it's just a joyful time of year for me, and even going out and buying presents and going to all the events and stuff like that. I know that bothers some people. It doesn't bother me, and I would encourage people to enjoy it as much as they can. I've even heard some people that don't do the Christmas stuff, like they've stopped going to all the different family events because of the stress. And me personally, I kind of think that's selfish, because now I can't comment on every situation, but it seems kind of selfish because you're not going to spend time with your family because it stresses you out. And when I've heard people talk about this, it's not that the people stress them out. It's just that running around to all the different family get-togethers stresses them out, so they just don't go. And I would say if your family stresses you out, maybe you and your family should talk about it. And if you can't come to some sort of a reasonable conclusion, then yeah, don't go to your families. But if you just don't like the hubbub, I don't know, maybe cut some other things out of your life or something. I don't see how punishing your family because you're stressed out is a good solution. But anyway, to me that's tossing the grenade over the fence. But anyway, I would just encourage everybody to, if you must, you must. Try not to get too stressed out. Everybody's different, so I can't, what works for me doesn't work for everybody else. But just try to be positive, Positivity and friendliness has helped me go a lot further than pretty much anything else in my life. So anyway, that's sort of random thoughts about Christmas and this time of year, all brought in by a sunset and some pretty clouds, I guess, and getting to drive around in my old car that I really like driving, and getting to go home for the weekend, I guess. Life is good. So certainly for me right now, the important things in life are covered for me, and my family's pretty healthy. Things are going well. I know that times will come when they don't, and so I don't want to sweat them while things are good. No sense in ruining times when things are good. The things that I don't have are really not that big of a deal. So I'm not going to sweat. I'm going to stay positive. Positivity, like I said, has helped me out quite a bit in life. So I would just encourage people to try as much as you can, and don't get bitter. Don't focus too much on what you don't have. And I will leave this. I will sign off with a saying that I heard one time from someone who didn't always have the best sayings, and I didn't always agree with, but it was a boss of mine one time who said, want what you have, which I thought was pretty interesting. It was a good way to say be content. And again, it doesn't mean that you can't have goals, but want what you have. So with that, thanks for watching. Merry Christmas.